Math, science, history. Why do I have to be taught politics in math? Why do I have to go into a science class and taught about how racist America is? I mean, we saw what happened to people. We saw that people were literally being told to leave the university if they said something offensive. You can't say anything without being barked at by classmates and teachers alike.
Stuff like this is happening too, so we can't just blame the middle school teacher who was just trying to make ends meet.
Hey guys, it's Misha and welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to make a video talking about why I left my old university and overall the left. So I'm just going to discuss some of the crazy things I saw in my old university, including the political agendas and all that great stuff. Before we get started, please make sure you guys hit subscribe and the notification bell so you guys don't miss my videos. So I grew up calling myself a Democrat and pretty liberal, all that stuff, because all my friends were liberals and I went to a liberal high school. So I just sort of identified with that. Didn't really agree with a lot of stuff that my friends were saying, but kind of kept quiet because I saw everyone else that were speaking their minds literally getting shunned by the rest of the students. So I was like, okay, better not touch that, because I knew, oh, well, I can't really say what I actually think. But I think my journey started after I watched The Social Dilemma, which is an amazing documentary that I watched on Netflix. I don't know if it's on Netflix anymore, but either way, it was so amazing and I want to talk a little bit about that. So this was around the 2020 election, I believe. It basically talked about how big tech companies such as Facebook and YouTube were advertising certain videos to certain people. So let's say that you are a very conservative person, you're going to keep getting very conservative YouTube videos, for example, because they sell your information to other companies and then those companies will say, oh, this person wants to see X, Y, and Z, and so they will promote that on your page.
That's probably how y'all found this video. If you didn't know how social media worked, that's probably how social media works. Like if you watch these type of videos, then they're gonna keep promoting it. That's literally every social media platform. But this young lady is talking about how when she was coming up in, I guess, high school, maybe college, how like she had these views, but she didn't quite know what the views were, so she just identified with the specific party. And the reason I paused it is because how do I put this, man? The Democratic Party is like the default setting I've noticed with a lot of people who are youth. And I'm not saying that's it's something wrong with the Democratic Party, but I noticed that that's like the default setting. Like if you don't know what you are, well, I'm just a Democrat. Let's just vote Democrat.
I was getting a bunch of lefty, woke type of content, but this creates the illusion that everyone around you thinks the same way as you do, which is not the case. And with my school and the people I associated with being very left-leaning, I thought that the right was just this small group of hillbilly, bigoted, racist people, because that's what they made them seem like. So because I was really blown away by this, I shared a post. It was basically a short clip of the documentary where the guy was talking about how it's really upsetting that friendships are being torn apart just because of political views, and that really hit home for me because I wasn't agreeing with a lot of what my friends were saying. This was during BLM and the Biden and Trump election, so a lot of the things that my friends were saying I wasn't in agreement with, and I felt very pressured to either keep silent or agree. So I posted this because in general, I thought it was really sad that a lot of friendships were being broken just because of a disagreement in political views, which I always thought was silly, because why can't we live in harmony and still be friends even if we have different political views? It's really good to be friends with someone that has a different perspective and a different view on life in general, because if you're with the same people who have the same exact view as you, it doesn't really promote thinking or questioning anything. I thought that was really sad that we don't have these sort of debates and discussions anymore. Everyone has to agree with you, and if they don't, you can't be friends. I always thought that was really silly. So I'm gonna show you guys the video really quick.
The false sense that everyone agrees with you because everyone in your newsfeed sounds just like you. And that once you're in that state, it turns out you're easily manipulated.
We all simply are operating on a different set of facts. When that happens at scale, you're no longer able to reckon with or even consume information that contradicts with that worldview.
Bro, that is crazy. Bro, that is insane, because that is so true. And I've always thought, like, why does everyone have to agree directly with what you say? That mindset is strictly, I guess, social. I don't know where this is from. I'm not even gonna say where it's from because I don't know. But I've always thought, I have friends or I have family or even professors that when they say something, I don't directly always agree with them. I'd be like, no, I don't think that's true, or that's not accurate. It happens all the time. With family, we accept it. With friends, we accept it. But with strangers, we don't accept it. Like if you, for example, are a Democrat and I'm conservative, or I'm a Democrat and you're conservative, I'd be like, no, I don't agree with that happened. Oh, you're canceled. Ah! No, it's okay. We disagree sometimes. Sometimes I say something in the video and people would comment and be like, Jojo, you don't know what you're talking about. Or, Jojo, you're wrong. Or they email me and be like, no, I don't agree. And I'd be like, dang, okay, we still locked in, right? Make sure you still subscribe to the channel. I'm like, yeah, we still good though, right? It's okay. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe.
That you've created, that means we aren't actually being objective, constructive individuals.
What are Republicans like?
People that don't have a clue.
The Democrat Party is a crime syndicate, not a real political party.
A huge new Pew Research Center study of 10,000 American adults finds us more divided than ever, with personal and political polarization at a 20-year high.
More than a third of Republicans saying the Democratic Party is a threat to the nation. More than a quarter of Democrats saying the same thing about the Republicans.
So after I posted this, I wasn't really expecting anything. I just posted it because I thought it was very true and resonated with me. But I was surprised. I got 3 or 4 of my friends text messaging me saying, why would you post that? Are you a Trump supporter now? Like, what's going on? Basically, they were ready to attack me. They were proving my point that I can't really post or say anything without people getting defensive or offended. And it really made me miss the days when we could all say, oh, let's agree to disagree. Because I used to say that a lot when I would have debates with other people. And we were like, yeah, you know, you think this way, I think this way. It doesn't look like we're going to find common ground. So let's just agree to disagree. But now that does not exist. If you disagree, you have to be canceled and shunned. There's no freedom of speech anymore. So after high school, I went to my old university, which was known to be very, or not very, but pretty liberal, in the sense that that's what they call themselves, even though they don't hold any of the actual traditional liberal values like freedom of speech, freedom of religion. And let me tell you.
And this is what I'm talking about. Some of the beliefs that are now considered conservative that I've noticed are literally liberal beliefs. And some of the liberal thoughts are like traditionally conservative. So people are still like intertwined with each other. Like some people still have traditionally conservative and traditionally liberal beliefs. They just still identify with one side over the other. It's so confusing now, man. I don't know what to even think. Like, what is a conservative now? What is liberal? I don't know.
The first day, guys, I went into the campus. I had to use the bathroom, right? So I go into the restroom, and what do I see? I see a man, a 20-year-old man, just in the bathroom. Let's say that this person was transgender, right? There wasn't any effort into like presenting female, none, okay? No like wig, no makeup, like zero. It was just a guy in a t-shirt, jeans, and I was looking around, I'm like, there are other women in this bathroom, and there's this guy in here. No one is saying anything. No one is giving it a second thought. I'm like, well, I'm uncomfortable, so do 180 and I leave, because everyone feels like if they tell this person, you can't be in here, you're a dude, they're gonna get canceled. And then my classes start, and there were trigger warnings on every piece of literature. If you had this in your past, if you experienced that, you can leave the class, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. Literally raising toddlers, like you have to be coddled and protected from everything in the world. That's not how the world works. It was so annoying. Everything that we read and everything that we watched, the teachers had to put a trigger warning. Even if it wasn't in any way offensive. This documentary says this curse word. So if you feel offended by this, then, you know, let the teacher know and you can exit the classroom during this part of the documentary. I was so confused. Within that same week, I was asked to then write a paper about how I was privileged being white, but also marginalized being a woman. So this was some intersectionality paper that we had to write, and there was no room for debate.
Hey. And that's something I've noticed too. Like, even in my example, I'm the complete opposite. I'm a man and I'm black. So do I still have like patriarchal privilege? But does the blackness like destroy that privilege, or is it like take it down a notch? Like is there like is there like stepping stones to privilege? Like you have the economic privilege, but then you have the then you have the white privilege, and then you have the male privilege, and like you have like a combination of each. Like if you're a white rich man, you have the ultimate privilege. But if you're a white broke man, you have slightly less privilege. Or if you're a rich black man, or if you're a rich white woman, or like, hey, what? How do we like? Is this like a formula, like a differential equation? Like, how do we quantify this privilege? You know?
Because I was thinking, wait, but I don't think that I'm privileged in this way, or that I'm marginalized in this way. I think I don't really identify with that. There's no room for discussion, okay? You're given this narrative and you have to write about how this applies to your life, even if you disagree. They teach you that if you're white, you're racist. You may not know it yet, but you're racist. And again, I did not agree with that, but I wasn't given a choice to debate. It's like they're forcing you to make stuff up. Words in articles that we were reading were being censored because they were offensive. And we weren't really learning things. We were just talking about how it impacted us and our feelings and how it made us feel and how we were feeling and feeling and feeling and feeling. What about facts? Like, for real, what about 1 + 1 = 2? What about actual facts? Why aren't we learning that? Why do I have to sit through a 60-minute class talking about how this article made me feel inside, or how I'm discriminated against as a woman, or how I'm privileged for being white? I mean, I came here to learn. This isn't even a political class. I was literally going to classes, like I had a math class, okay, my calculus class once, and we started talking about how the government should do more to help protect those less fortunate. I'm just sitting in this math class thinking, oh my God, I literally came here to do calculus. What is this?
And you know what's crazy about those classes, bro? Luckily for me, I've never had no professors who did that. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I do not have professors who do that. They really about their business. Like, if we come to class, best believe we gonna be putting in work. I'm not gonna lie. Like, but I could just imagine, like, being in this type of class. You're like, oh no, we have a test coming up. I just feel a little privileged coming from you, professor. I don't think I can do this test. You're making me uncomfortable. Okay, it's okay. Just step up to class if you're like those classes would probably be so easy. Like, if I could just imagine, they'd be so easy because I'm black. I can just be like, nah, I'm not feeling it. All jokes aside, though, I would never do that. But that's the type of stuff that can happen when you have these crazy ideals running through the school system.
I had a psychology class where we were watching a video about how race isn't real, but then also how race is really important, and it wasn't making any sense. And then we were talking about critical race theory. The true left quickly exposed themselves to me as people who judge others based on these categorizations they made for them. So if you're white, you know, you're bad, or if you're a woman, you're good. Instead of actually looking at someone's personality, their character, none of that matters anymore. It's just these attributes, this how much money do you have? Are you a male or a female, or neither? Extra brownie points. Are you black? Are you white? No one cared what kind of person you were, what you knew. It was all about how you identify. That's racist. Like, that's actually racist to go and look at someone
Exactly.
and say, you're white, so this is how you behave. I heard countless students present on why they identify as communists and socialists. And at that point, I was ready to dip. I went home and I thought, you know, I was starting to reflect, what did I learn today? All I really learned was that white people are evil racists. And that was the whole debate That was the whole discussion in one of my philosophy classes, I think. And I was not learning. I was literally just being indoctrinated and just brainwashed into this nonsense. It was just getting so annoying because every class was political without exception. Politics should not be in the classroom. A classroom should be a place where you're learning essential knowledge. Like,
you know what's crazy about this video? Like, to me, when I hear this, is like, okay, yeah, it just sounds pretty normal to me. Like, you shouldn't be learning about politics in a calculus class. That's just kind of weird, if I'm being honest. Like, I've never even experienced anything like that. But this is actually a very controversial video, surprisingly. Like, and that's kind of where the world is at. This, like, no, I don't want a man in the bathroom, like, just in here, or I don't want to be learning about politics in a math class, or what else did she say? She lost friends for reposting a video that said social media is selling your data and putting you in like a think bubble, and that everyone is more polarized today and you should be able to have different opinions. Just very normal takes that I'm like, yeah, these are just normal takes to me. How is this a controversial subject? Like, and notice, I didn't say anything about politics. I didn't say nothing about politics at all. I'm just saying, like, people should be allowed to think what they want. That's the American creed.
Math, science, you know, history. Why do I have to be taught politics in math? Why do I have to go into a science class and taught about how racist America is in 2022? I felt completely silenced, completely trapped in the school. And the funny thing is that I felt that there were other students who also were not in agreement with what was being taught, but they were also so afraid of speaking their minds because, I mean, we saw what happened to people. We saw that people were literally being told to leave the university if they said something offensive. I honestly worry so much for the future generation. You can't say anything without being barked at by classmates and teachers alike. I remember 6 or 7 years ago, I did a project in school.
And I try not to blame the teachers too much because teachers, I made a video and it's not, here's the thing. Teachers, of course, you have some bad teachers who, you know, push these ideals on students. But don't forget, teachers are given lesson plans. And the lesson plans have to be, I think they create the lesson plans, but it has to be approved. And some are given lesson plans. They don't really have the ability to say, no, I'm not teaching this without them also being threatened about their job. So it's not just the teachers who are doing this. It's a lot of absent parents who are okay with this. It's a lot of brainwashed parents, or it's a lot of brainwashed CEOs of universities, or it's a lot of paid off people who they say, oh, I'll give you $10 million if you allow this message to be put off in your school board. Like, stuff like this is happening too. So we can't just blame the middle school teacher who is just trying to make ends meet.
And I had to find like a short little quote that I liked. And I remember picking "live and let live" because I love that quote. And I realized no one was going by that quote anymore because you can't let people have their opinions. You just can't. You have to cancel them if you don't agree with them. Cancel culture was taking place all around me with people that were speaking their minds. All someone had to do was literally claim that that person offended them, and then that individual could be expelled. Expelled, guys, for offending someone. I was so sick of being forced to learn about this victimhood and forced into political discussions. Long story short, I left my old university, but not just the university, I left the left, guys. Because most importantly, I value my freedom of speech. I'm gonna fight for that. I think that's one of the most important things in life, is to be able to speak your mind, despite who it could offend or not. Anyone can make the claim that they are offended by something, and then we have to silence that person. And I'm just so much happier at my new university. And this whole experience is what inspired me to start talking about politics on YouTube. Because after being silenced for all these years, it feels amazing to finally be able to speak my mind, both in my personal life and here online with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And
yeah, shout out to this creator right here. If you have any suggestions for me or any thoughts, comment down below. And subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all later.